Hey, Richard Beach here from SonicState.com. I'm with Julian Ward at the Yamaha booth at NAMM, or the Yamaha room actually. It's a very big room with lots of music going on. So we have an upgrade to the THR10.
Yes.
So there's three main things, is that right? Or one main thing that has three effects?
Well, yeah, actually we've done two things,
okay,
but it does more than two things.
Yeah.
So the two things we've changed on the upgrade from version 1 to version 2, and this only applies to the THR10 and 5, so just the cream ones.
Okay.
The biggest thing that we've changed is we've changed the speaker simulators. So on the original THR10 and 5, the speaker simulators were modelled on just using a single mic, which gives you a good sound,
yeah,
but actually when people are doing sort of real high-end recording, they're almost always using multiple mics, because when you listen to an amp in a room, you're hearing everything. You're not just hearing, this tiny area of the cone.
Yeah.
You're hearing the back and the floor and the front and the sides and the top and everything. So kind of the tone hound way to mic an amp is with lots of mics dotted around. So actually when we launched the THR10X and C, we used multiple mic simulations. And what we've done now is we've re-simulated all the cabinets that are in the 10 and the 5. We've re-recorded them and come up with new speaker simulations with multiple mics. Now what that does is it just makes the sound a bit bigger and deeper and wider and kind of more realistic, and it sounds a little bit more produced, if you like. And what we've heard and the way people have described it is it's just a little bit more engaging and a little bit more inspiring and just a bit more kind of rocking and ready to go.
So especially, obviously, if you're playing with a normal amp and you're just hearing that in your room, is that what this is now aiming to be? So you can record directly out of this and it will sound like a mic, an amp has been recorded like it would in a studio with...
Yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, it's the two things. I mean, yes, if you use the direct out to record either via USB or out of the phones, you're going to get a better direct tone, because the speaker simulations are just more accurate. It's basically like they're doing a better job of miking the amp that it's modelling.
Yeah.
But also the sound in the room through the speakers uses that speaker simulation. Because this is kind of hi-fi full range speakers, the simulation effectively is on all the time. So it means that the sound from the THR speakers is just better. It sounds like a stupid way to describe it. It doesn't sound different, it just sounds like a better version of the same thing. And it does, what that does then is it's done a couple of weird things. So it makes it sound a bit wider, it makes it sound a bit more 3D, but it also makes the distortion seem a little bit gainier, and it makes the clean sound seem a little bit brighter. So it's almost like it's just sort of opened up the THR sound a little bit for us. So that's the first thing that we've done in the version 2 upgrade. The second thing is that we've changed the gain structure on the clean channel. So one of the things we had feedback on this amp was that on the original clean model on the 10s and the 5s, great sounding amp, but it got really dirty really quickly.
It did, yeah.
So we had a lot of comments back from people on that. So basically we've responded to that. The amp sound is the same, it's the same circuit, but we've just lowered the input gain a little bit so it stays clean a little bit longer. So now what you've got is, and you can see with everything kind of on sort of 10 past, relatively high, you now still get a... So there's still a little bit of that sort of valvey, tubey breakup, but it's way cleaner than the original 10 and 5. Would have been at those kind of levels. So essentially that's what we've done with the version 2. It's not a massive change. It's just taking basically what was working with THR, because we looked at, well, do we need to make a massive upgrade? Do we need to reinvent the concept? And the answer was basically no. But we had these couple of things, if you like, up our sleeve that we thought, well, if we add them to THR, make it a version 2, we can just make the amp better. We can make it a THR, but just a little bit better.
Is this THR done now? Because this is sort of like, your project. Are you going to be able to leave it alone, or are there more things in the pipeline?
No, we're constantly playing with THR. Okay. I mean, because the kind of THR development group is a bunch of guitarists, including our kind of lead programmer, software guy for this in Japan is a complete tone freak. He's just playing all the time, and we've got a ton of ideas for well, this would be kind of cool, or that would be kind of cool. To be honest, what we're looking for is to try and figure out how we can do something that makes a difference to people. I mean, we could make a 50-watt combo, yeah, we could make a smaller version, but what does that actually do? Are we just going down the same road that everybody sort of goes down, which is to go, okay, well, there's a big market for 50-watt combo, so let's make a 50-watt combo version? Yeah, it would be interesting, but we're actually more interested in looking for, is there a way that THR can expand that sort of stays true to the original concept, which is that looking for the way that people are playing and looking for something that they want to do, that we can do a little bit differently. Because, I mean, this was really the first decent quality practice amp, if you like, and certainly that sort of sits on your desk and really works in that world. And now, you know, I think other people are catching up. There's a few other things that are starting to show that this is happening, but THR still sounds awesome for that, and you know, we're still completely behind the sound of it for this, but it's definitely not finished, but we're just not sure quite where to go.
Okay, so I was going to say, are there developments planned? Is there something planned for Mesa or Summer NAMM? Or
there's nothing specific planned at the moment. As I say, you know, we're working on a few different things.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of ideas for ways we might go. In the short term, what you have is the version 2 upgrade. But no, THR definitely isn't finished.
Okay. Well, there you have it. If you're a THR fan, stay peeled, and hopefully more updates in the future. So. Thanks, Julian, for giving us not only one video, but 2 videos this year at NAMM.
Just want to make one last thing about the version 2 upgrade.
Okay.
User upgradable firmware.
Okay.
So if you have a version 1 THR5 or 10, you can download the upgrade software from download.yamaha.com. You can turn your version 1 into a version 2. So if you've got the original 10 or 5, you can have the new version by doing the upgrade.
And this is preloaded into any THR that you buy now.
Any new THR 5 or 10 will be version 2 as standard.
Okay, great.
But you know, while the new version 2 comes into stores, there might be a couple of the version 1s left over.
Okay.
But you can just download the version 2. It takes less than 3 minutes to do the upgrade. Really quick, really easy, and obviously free of charge. So generous.
Brilliant. So is that available? I take it the upgrade is available now.
Should be available
to download
now.
Okay, brilliant. So thanks for watching. For more guitar videos, go to sonicstate.com/amped. We have a live blog running through the show as well, live updates. Check that out, and tweet us at SonicAmped if there's anything you want us to check out at this year's show. Thanks for watching, and thanks, Julian, for chatting to us.